Jasmine Jasnovici is here. Don't forget to tap into the Darce podcast.
The Darce choke is a submission executed from the front headlock position. It involves encircling the opponent's neck with the crook of one's arm, while the other arm wraps around the opponent's arm, applying pressure, leading to a tap or unconsciousness.
Tap into the Darce podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another episode of the Darce podcast. We are back after a week off. Hard for UFC, and my guy Slick rocking the full Fighting Nerds getup. My guy Mr. Plus ready to scrap on this card, and we are here for Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates in the main and UFC Fight Night, Kansas City. Is it? It's like Missouri. Is it in southern there? I don't know. I've never been there. I'm a New Yorker, and I'm here with Slick, Mr. Plus, and Cal on the ones and twos to break down our betting picks for this Fight Night card. Fellas, it's packed. Low-key, this is a really good card. Before we get into the picks, I got to know, Slick, Mr. Plus, I'll start with you, Slick. What's your favorite fight on this card?
At the end of the day, man, when these glasses come on, you know that's the most forward-looking fight to look after, man. Carlos Prates, Ian Garry, main event. Man, I was hyped for Carlos Prates versus Garry. Now we get him in a main event. Prates versus Neal. So now we get Prates versus Garry main event. Can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, bro. Gary stepping in, fighting anyone. Mr. Plus, it's a banger when any of the Fighting Nerds come out. What are you most excited for on this Fight Night card?
Yeah, I can't lie. I was trying to think of an answer to that question as you were asking, Slick. And I'm excited for a lot of the fighters on this card. Michel Pereira, we got Giga Chikadze's back, but I really am most excited to see bouncing around Ian Garry versus the lethal Carlos Prates, cigarette smoking bandit. Let's go fucking Fighting Nerds. I got my Fighting Nerds on too.
Yeah, you got the modern Fighting Nerds. Fellas are backing them already. I mean, bro, the elite guys, 18-0, wild. So we see you guys out here in the chat. Hit the like button on the way in before we get started. Fire away with any questions you have, and we'll be bringing them up on screen for this Fight Night card. Here we go, y'all. Into the picks we go. And you know we got to jump all aboard the Mr. Plus Parlay Bus.
Mr. Plus, Parlay Bus, bet it all in trust. Jabs and hooks, it's all about the rush. Put it down on the underdog, never hush. Odds stack high, feel the thrill, that's a must. And I'll see you when that shit cashes.
We got a nice plus 375 to lead off the show. Welcome back. We're here again. Let's jump aboard the Mr. Plus Parlay Bus. I'm drinking tonight, but I won't be on Saturday, so don't worry. We ain't drinking and driving. We're cashing this bus straight into the cash counter. Leg number one, give me Randy Rude Boy from Jamaica Brown. All day, 6'3" versus 5'11". Don't get me wrong, I'm a Dolby fan. Guy's very, very hittable on the feet. He's also very durable. He absorbs those shots. It really even powers him up. He has that weird breathing on the feet. I like Dolby. He's a weird guy. He's a strange fighter, and I like strange fighters who can get the job done. I bet on him and won before, but I can't go against Randy Rude Boy Brown. Why? Not just fight IQ, not just the striking and the versatility that he's going to be able to deliver and the sharpness on the feet, but also, like I said, the reach advantage is going to be serious here. I think he can keep him off him. No clinch fest here. Outpoint him. Outstrike him. He's got crazy kicks, great punches, and I know he's one of Danny's favorites. He's leading off the plus bus. And for leg number two, we're going to jump right to it. It's the next fight. We're going Michel Pereira, who's back after that unfortunate loss to Fluffy in round 5. I think we all kind of knew it was going to happen, though. Pereira before that was on a killing spree, five in a row, and we were betting on him. We were betting on him big. Ihor Pereira, Peteria, whatever, we had him. Michel Olajewski, we had him. Danny's going to cover these names better than I am. Andre Petrowski, we had him. Yo, I'm telling you right now, Michel Pereira, he's more explosive. He's got the X factor of being able to knock you out at any point of the fight. We've seen Abbas put out before. I'm not a big Abbas fan. That jump right up to Sean Strickland after just beating Dustin Stoltzfus didn't make sense to me. Woke up the next fight as well against Caio Baralho. And then, of course, got a couple wins, Warley Alvarez, and recently Bruno Ferreira, who, to me, it's not like that one's unworthy. I like that. It's not impressive. But a third round Bruno Ferreira, anybody who's got any sort of submission game is going to absolutely submit Bruno Ferreira, gassed out in the third round. And that's exactly what happened. Michel Pereira does gas out too, but we've seen him in the 5-round fight. I think against an opponent like Abus, this is a spot where he gets back on track, back in that top tier contention. And that's why he's leg number 2 on the bus. I know Cal's going to cut these down. For the third leg of the bus, I'm going right to the main event of the evening. If we're breaking there, we're breaking. And I know typically on the bus we're going 3 favorites and getting you guys a little plus 100. But this week we're going plus 375. Give me Carlos Prates to win the main event. I just don't see it with Ian Garry, man. He is not dangerous to a guy like Carlos Prates. And Carlos Prates is everything that's dangerous, bro. This guy can do it anywhere. And he's going to take this fight to where it needs to be, which is elbows to the face, very violent, and Ian Garry's not going to like it. You're going to see him on his back foot the entire fight. I just don't see him winning. Does he have a grappling game? Sure, maybe. Can he keep Carlos Prates down? I don't think so. Prates' losses were all when he was very young in his younger career. He is on his way up. Bro, this kid is electric to see. The UFC loves him. I love him. And I honestly think Ian Garry is going to wake up on the canvas. That's really how I feel this is going down. Give me Carlos Prates, round 3 or round 2 KO. When he finds it, he finds it. He's got the angles. He's going to dip and dodge. He's going to come back. Bro, he's going to land it. He's very calculated. Carlos Prates to move up in the rankings and knock out a very cocky, a very arrogant, a very unlikable Ian Garry.
Boom. Plus 375 on the plus bus. And he's going to the main event of the evening to close it out with the dog, the Fighting Nerds, one of the brightest stars of the Fighting Nerds, Carlos the Nightmare Prates. All right, you covered some big ticket fights on this card. So we got a lot to talk about right off the bat. I see you, Jameson, in the comments. Keep firing away. He says he's liking Randy Brown by decision. Call me rude boy, because I love Randy Brown in this matchup as well. That's the first leg of your parlay bus. And Slick, I mean, we know his caliber of striking, right? That slick boxing, that snappy jab, the front kick up the middle, that footwork, that head movement. And he's tough, man. He's tricky everywhere. People sleep on his jiu-jitsu, his grappling skill, his ability to sweep and reverse position, his Muay Thai clinch game. He's super well-rounded. He's trained in all the martial arts, and he's good everywhere. He's just a natural fighter. So I like him in this matchup against, like you said, a guy in Dalby who's super tough. He's got the great work rate, cardio, and pace, but I think he's hittable. I agree. I think Rude Boy is going to be the one landing to the target, and I think Dalby's tough enough to last, but I also agree with Jameson. I like Rude Boy by decision ultimately in a good competitive fight that Randy's just sharper in. What do you think about this one, Slick?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely going to have to, I mean, some people are leaning Dalby, but I just think this is a perfect bounce back spot for a guy like Randy Brown. Like, he's been getting a lot of bad dealt hands lately, you know, fighting guys like Jack Della, Brian Battle that was on the up and up, and now he's fighting a 40-year-old Dalby, who I just think is just going to be a little step behind in every position. I think, like, for this fight, he's usually that guy that waits for you to get gassed out, and he's able to take advantage of the clinch positions and the takedowns and the wrestling and stuff like that in the second and third round. But that's one thing we don't have to worry about Randy Brown. You know, he's usually have great cardio all 3 rounds. And the only thing that you have to really concern yourself about in this fight with Randy Brown is if he just lets Dalby do what Brian Battle did in his last fight, just basically clinch him up and just knee him for 3 rounds. And I think he learned from that. I think he's going to probably come out here a little bit aggressive. And the one time that we actually seen him come out a little bit aggressive when he said he was that Muslim Salikov fight, when he was tired of people saying that, oh, he goes to decisions, and that he was tired of getting to close split decisions. And he made a statement. So, hey, man, he's coming out here. Dalby's going to be hittable. Randy Brown is dangerous with both his hands and his legs. If he starts getting those knees high and he starts feeling himself early, I wouldn't be surprised he gets Dalby out of there late. But the more likely, I'll probably pick him round 3 a decision.
I do like that potential late finish because I'm thinking about it, just like you said, Muslim Salikov. Look, Dalby's tougher than Salikov, but that straight right hand, it found the target. Randy could put him out, man. He's sharp. So I agree. Maybe decision's not so easy. He could maybe find that late knockout. We like the first leg, Mr. Plus. Second up, Michel Pereira, Demolidor, taking on Abus Magomedov. This is an interesting one. I'm only a little bit worried after that 5-round beatdown against Anthony Hernandez about his wrestling defense. And I know it's Anthony Hernandez. He's a freaking relentless dog. Abus is not the fighter, the wrestler that Anthony Hernandez is. But I don't know. I'm just a little sketched. Like, I'm going to be rooting for Pereira, I feel like. But, Slick, what do you think about Abus? Could he potentially wrestle him and look at that tape that Anthony Hernandez put on him and try to fight a similar game plan? Or is Pereira just going to find a knee up the middle potentially and just put him away?
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing that I concern myself with Michel Pereira. And honestly, if this wasn't like, if I would have got at least Michel Pereira probably at plus money, then I probably would have made him a max play, because watching Abus and his wrestling and stuff like that, all his wrestling is strong based, physique. Like he's being able to overpower these guys and get trips and stuff like that. And that's how he was able to get Ferreira down a couple times. I just don't think he's going to be as strong as Michel Pereira in those positions to get the takedowns. And if he does, I don't think he has great control. We've seen Bruno Ferreira, gassed out Bruno Ferreira, actually sweeping Abus Magomedov. And whenever the fight was on the feet, whenever this guy gets tired, man, he is a walking punching bag. He does not worry about defense. Bruno Ferreira almost knocked him out in the second round. And if anybody outside of the first round, Bruno Ferreira's gas tank is already dead. And I'm not worried about that Anthony Hernandez fight. I honestly think Anthony Hernandez is one of one in this division right now with the wrestling, outside of those late contenders. But other than that, man, I think Michel Pereira knocks this guy out probably in the first or second. And I just don't think Abus is going to be able to get those takedowns. I think Michel Pereira is going to do enough to keep him on the back foot. And if it's on the back foot, I trust Michel Pereira's chin way more than I trust Abus' chin. So I'm gonna go with Michel Pereira by KO.
Yo, plus he's going early KO. He's expecting violence. I want to hear your prop, but I think this could potentially be our banger of the night. All right, we like violence plus. So my guy, Free UFC Bet Picks, in the comments. Love it to see it. That's my guy right there. Great channel himself. Check him out as well. Plus, what kind of prop are you looking at on Pereira in the spot then?
Banger. Oh my gosh, you just said it. It is a banger. I'm going to go the opposite, though. Usually in these past weeks, I've been calling knockout when it's supposed to be knockout and a sub happens. I've been calling sub when it's a sub and then a knockout happens. I'm going to do the opposite this week. I think it's supposed to be a knockout, so let's go Michel Pereira by sub. I think he beats his ass, gets the back, chokes him out. Give me Michel Pereira by rear naked choke. And this fight's over in the second round.
Sleep. Michel Pereira maybe sleep and then lace up the rear naked sleep. Wow, that'd be fire. That'd be super fire. I love those like opposite calls. You get like plus 5,000 on that if you could pick the round too. All right, man. They like Michel Pereira. They're kind of quelling my concerns about the wrestling defense. I'm still a little sketched. Finally, Slick, main event of the evening. I mean, I'll let you tee it off. You're wearing the glasses. I got to assume you're rolling with the fighting nerds, Carlos, the Nightmare Prates.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to lean with Prates in this spot. I'm just, at the end of the day, bro, you at plus money, you have no wrongdoing taking a guy like Carlos Prates. This is a fight that you have to hope, honestly, Ian Garry gets the wrestling going, which I'm not nowhere near high on his wrestling. A lot of his, against Michael Venom Page, Like he's known for getting like Logan Storley laid on him for almost 5 rounds. So I'm not too high on his defensive wrestling. I think Carlos Prates is just one of those guys that wherever position you're at in the cage, he's gonna make you feel him, man. He's been showing that time and time again. This is one guy that we can honestly say is dangerous with all 8 limbs that you're able to attack with in the octagon. Like he's dangerous everywhere. And I just don't trust Ian Garry. Like everybody's talking this Ian Garry stuff. He has one of the worst striking defenses in this division. Like he looks good whenever he's getting the flow going. But we've seen guys like Jeff Neal. We've seen guys like Michael Venom Page. Whenever they crack this guy, his reactions are some of the worst. And he gets rattled. Like he's not one of those guys that knows how to eat a punch and then counter. He's one of those slipping fluid type of guys. But as of late, he's just been falling off of that. Like this guy is getting dropped by Song Kenan. Guys like Jordan Williams. Like I'm not too high on him to be in this ring with Carlos Prates, and knocking out a guy like Prates nowadays is just tough because I think this is a guy that he has to be damn near on death's door for you to damn near knock him out. And we've seen Ian Garry's putting out stuff like, yeah, he's quit before, bro. What happened to all that quitting stuff when we was talking about Charles Oliveira when he quit against Max Holloway? And look how he ended up, you know? At the end of the day, we can't really put that amateur career to somebody that has the momentum like a guy like Carlos Prates. And he's taking care of guys. He's taking care of guys like Neil Magny, who really doesn't get knocked out. He's more of a get sub type of guy, you know, get out grapple type of guy. And now Carlos Prates is making it easy in the first round. Man, I got to take Carlos Prates in this spot. I think he knocks out a guy like Ian Garry, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens early. I think Carlos Prates gets his reads. We've seen time and time again him getting like that Trevin Giles read. He could have been getting jabbed up all 3 rounds that fight, but he found a way to get the knees going, getting Giles to drop his hands for the knees for the 1 second, and then that left hand comes over. I think he's one of the most accurate punchers I've seen on the up and up right now. And I got to take him at this plus money. I'm not one of those guys that's worried about these odds and when it comes to UFC. So I'm going to take Carlos Prates in this spot.
Yo, there you go. Slick breaking down the Prates spot. And honestly, I feel like this is another Gene Silva, Bryce Mitchell situation where everyone's like, oh, look, the line move. Bryce Mitchell's plus 260. Now he's plus 160. He's got the wrestling. Silva's wrestling. The fighting nerds are not to be disrespected. They're so good everywhere. Prates maybe defensive wrestling or whatever you think his weakness is going to be in this matchup hasn't been tested. He hasn't needed it. And like Slick said, I think ultimately he can make you feel him whatever position that you're in. Pause. So ultimately, I think he, the way that he picks up on reads, the way that he downloads information and then fires those sharp, precise strike, finds the liver shot, finds the chin, finds the temple. He's so good at finding the exact shot to really put damage and change the tide of the fight. Even if Gary's tough enough to last, I think Prates has the bigger moments. I think Garry could work in some grappling to make it tricky. Like, I know what you're saying about the early kind of struggles against Kenan and Williams, despite winning. He has shown the ability to get hit. He is weirdly he'll make it close, right? Against Shavkat, who was the boogeyman. He made it close. But ultimately, I think that's all he can do in this matchup. Prates is too sharp. He can just make it close. So I think Prates gets it done. I actually think Prates wins a decision, but maybe he hits him piece, finds the target, and Garry goes to sleep. So we like Prates. We like the plus 375, and we're hyped for the fighting nerds in the main event. On general principle, guys, they're 18-0. Rufi, Silva, Baralho, Prates, 18-0. I'm not betting against them until they lose. I mean, that's it, plus, right? That's the long and short of it.
19-0, I think now, and about to be 20-0 on Saturday for sure. Listen, this main event's going to be fire. I'm going to enjoy it. First round's going to be cool, technical. Ian Garry bouncing around, but it's really going to be Carlos Prates. It's just analyzing the situation and finding his spot, and then boom, out of hell, from hell, you're going to see some serious punch. Man, not everybody likes to get punched in the face. Not everybody likes to punch people in the face. Carlos Prates enjoys punching people in the face.
That's a fact. There you go. And Darce Podcast, that's Cal on the 1s and 2s in the chat. He's firing away some comments of his own, some plays of his own, perhaps. Check that out in the chat. All right, guys, we covered the main event thoroughly. And now we got to get some of these prelim fights. And Slick, we got an interesting one here. All salute to the Slick Report.
early in the game and you know we on time. Slick reports coming, they ain't never gon' stop. MMA captains with the knowledge and the flow. From the East Coast, getting that paper like a Philly bankroll. Rocking every fight, keep the audience on hold.
Yeah, so the slick report, we're going with Malcolm Wellmaker money line in this spot. Right now, you can get him like minus 120, minus 118 around there. And I'm just fading the Simon coming back party. And in the sense that every time this guy gets beat, the next fight that happens, everybody just think he's gonna bounce back. And I just don't trust him against a calculated guy like in Malcolm Wellmaker. I think Malcolm Wellmaker, he's not too young. He's shown he has good amateur career, has good extensive regional scene work. And I just think this is a guy that hits harder than Cameron Simon. And we just seen Cameron Simon just fold to the pressure of getting hit. Whenever he gets hit, his reactions are some of the worst. And sometimes he tries to get the grappling going. And if the grappling isn't getting there, he just looks sometimes like a fish out of water. All of his wins in the UFC have come guys that are cut from the UFC and guys that have probably some of the worst records in the UFC. Like Terrence Mitchell was 0-3 in the UFC. Kozlov was 0-2 in the UFC. I'm not too high on him. 2 times we have seen this guy fight. And I'm not comparing Malcolm Wellmaker to Payne Talbots and the Christian Rodriguez's of the world. But I could put this guy in that same pedestal in the sense that I think he has the veteran IQ. He's 30 years old. He's not one of these up-and-coming young bucks. Like I said, he's one of those guys that he waits for his calculated shot. And I think Cameron Simon is one of the worst in defending counterpunches. We've seen Payne Talbot just counterpunch this guy for two rounds. And this guy not having no striking defense whatsoever. He thinks that his chin is that good. I just don't think his chin is going to be well enough for a guy like Malcolm Wellmaker, who's a good all-around guy. He's won decisions, won submissions, have knocked out people. And we've seen time and time again that when Cameron Simon doesn't get that grappling going, he tries to get the volume going, but he doesn't really have no power for this weight division. I always said this guy needs to go down to 125 or honestly, he just needs to just go down another weight class because he just looks small against these 135ers. We're talking about Malcolm Wellmaker, who's going to weigh in at 135, but his physique and his strength, and like you see it, this guy's going to be probably close to 150, 155 at Fight Night. I think he's going to have the power. I think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns if he has to. And I just think Simon is going to have good volume. But I just don't think that volume is going to do anything when it comes down to the big power shots that Malcolm Wellmaker is going to get. I'm not trusting him to not get out cardioed in the spot because he doesn't put all his power into his punches. He's more of the catch you right on the chin, catch you right on the temple type of guy, and that's how he puts people out. So I think this is a good spot for Malcolm Wellmaker. Get a good bounce back win and just be on another a young kid in Cameron Simon, who I think should go down to 125.
I love it, man. I love the breakdown. I love the pick on Malcolm Wellmaker. And ultimately, I agree. I think Simon, at this point, is a fade. He came out looking skillful, bouncy, right? But, yeah, against solid competition, he's gotten work. Christian Rodriguez pieced him up. And a lot of people were high on Simon in that fight. Rodriguez gave him the business. Yeah, Talbot, I mean, that was a step too far in terms of striking talent. And like Slick said, he wears damage poorly when he takes those counter punches. I like the point about Wellmaker's physique too. He should be the bigger, stronger guy in there. Plus, what do you think about this matchup here?
First of all, if y'all are watching the Darts, we love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe, throw some comments. Who's your favorite fight of the night? Let us know. We want to interact with you guys. For this fight, man, Slick, always salute to the Slick report, but I got to hit the fade button on this one, man. Malcolm Wellmaker, and I bet on him big in the Contender Series and won big on him. But one thing I noticed in that fight was this dude absorbed so many hits per round. He just loves getting punched. Maybe he's a guy who likes to get punched first and then deliver the damage. I don't know. But if you want to get punched first by Cameron Simon, you might be out on your feet, man. This guy does have UFC experience. He's a younger guy that has UFC experience versus a newcomer who's in his 30s now. I got to go with the young stud, man. I want the UFC wants this young guy to win. I want him to win. Give me the South African. I'm going Cameron Simon plus money. And I don't think he wrestles at all. I think Cameron Simon puts Wellmaker away on the feet. I think he can get inside, hit him with the harder body strikes, and we just don't think that he has the power because he's been fighting some absolute dogs, man. Peyton Talbot, nobody's beating him right now in this division unless you're one of the top 5 ranked guys. And C-Rod was his other loss. So both respectable. Put Terrence McKinney away. Beat Mana Martinez, who I don't know where the fuck he went, but he was a fucking dog for a minute. I got to go with my guy, Cameron Simon. I think he gets back in the win column here against Malcolm Wellmaker, who people might just take because of the last name Wellmaker. I'm not seeing it.
There you go. All right. I like the take for Simon. All right. So pluses on Cameron Simon. Oh, that's right. Yeah, maybe a little dog of the week action there. Slick on Wellmaker. Like the breakdown there. Good spirited debate. And onward we march to the next one, guys. Put your hands together for the Brasco breakdown.
Brasco's breakdown. Brasco's breakdown.
All right, and for the Brasco breakdown, we're going to a UFC veteran who I just think has a great stylistic matchup. I'm going with Chris Gutierrez, minus 132 right now, and I think that's a solid line. Throwing 2 units on this one. Chris Gutierrez is this style of kickboxer that can beat John Castaneda. He's going to play, I think, the bull versus matador game in this one. We know his footwork, his sharp calf kicks that he's got, and his ability to just dance on the outside. And a lot of people, will call him a decisionator, but he's a very smart fighter. He stays very defensively sound. He's smart with his footwork. He's smart with his guard. And his Muay Thai game, I think, can help him defend takedowns. Castaneda is going to look to apply that forward pressure, maybe put him up against the fence, right? Mix up his strikes with his takedown attempts and try to mix the martial arts together. But I think wherever the fight goes, Gutierrez is going to be able to defend him and then, land counter shots, hit him with those calf kicks and body kicks, start mixing it up, and maybe even start piece and put some more damage on than people expect from the decisionator Gutierrez. I expect him to be sharp for this fight, man. I think Factory X Muay Thai training partners like Jonathan Martinez, iron sharpens iron, man. He's training with high-level guys, and I just don't put John Castaneda on that level. You look at John Castaneda's last fight, he lost to Daniel Marcos pretty convincingly. Marcos is, kind of a similar style of fighter to Chris Gutierrez in their kickboxing and Muay Thai style, right? I could see him fighting very similarly and just outpointing him, whether a decision or maybe even a late finish, just pieces him up if Castaneda's blitzing in too recklessly and getting caught. So, yeah, I like Chris Gutierrez to do work in this fight, and I got him 2 units on him at minus 132. I think easy work and a level above for Chris Gutierrez. Plus, what are you thinking about this matchup?
I think both of these guys' best wins were a long time ago. John Castaneda, maybe over 3 years ago, Miles John's victory. I think Chris Gutierrez' best win, maybe Frankie Edgar, right? The flying knee or the knee, right? So that was 3 years ago for both of those fights already, believe it or not. I was on Chris Gutierrez the last time these guys were going to fight. I got to stick with my pick. I'm going to go with Chris Gutierrez. It was a pick 'em before. I feel like I might have even been getting plus money or even money before. Now, just all of a sudden, everybody knows that Chris Gutierrez is going to win this. I don't know about that. So I'm going favorite or pass, but most likely for me, I'm probably going to pass and not bet much on this one. I love the line. I love that it's almost a pick 'em for the guy that I want. However, pause. I definitely think that this one could kind of go either way, man. I don't know. I don't love the fight.
All right, fair enough. But I like that you're leaning towards Gutierrez's side. I mean, Slick, you went 5 rounds in a loss with Song Yadong. I mean, just fighting that level of competition, I think, has gotten him a level above Castaneda. What do you think about the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not going. I really don't have like a side that I'm a bet on in this fight. I probably lean dog or pass in this spot. I just think Gutierrez, if he doesn't get the leg kicks going, he's not really that type of guy to have good combinations on the feet. And I don't think, and if he doesn't hurt a guy like Castaneda, I just don't think Castaneda is going to stop moving forward. Castaneda, he's just going to keep marching forward, keep trying to put him against the cage. And so we've seen Chris Gutierrez get succumb to that situation. He gets stuck behind the cage, and then when he doesn't get his calf kicks going, he just doesn't really have anything else in his arsenal. He has a little small jab that he peppers out there, but the jab is basically peppered from the leg kick being so useful, and then everybody's so used to the leg kick, and that's when he gets the jab going. So, I mean, John's last loss was to Daniel Marcos, but Daniel Marcos is one of the hottest guys right now in this division. I think he's still undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 15-0. So, he's beating good, solid guys like Kang-Ho Kang, Muin Gaffarov, who had that nice win over Rinya Nakamura his last fight. Miles Johns, who's a pretty good, durable guy, arm triangled him. And then he lost to Daniel Santos. Daniel Santos, I think, is a real underrated guy. That was a back and forth brawl. No fucking takedowns was issued that fight. Just back and forth brawl. So, I mean, I lean dog or pass, but I love the over in this spot. I think neither of these guys have that finishing potential against each other's styles. It's either Gutierrez going to be on the outside trying to get the leg kick and the jab going, or Castanada holding Gutierrez against the cage for at least 2 good solid rounds. So I lean dog or pass, but I'm not betting either side. Take the over for a parlay piece.
Definitely see it going over. I like Gutierrez's decision too. I just think when he tries to get him against the fence, he's going to reverse position. He's going to get the wizard. He's going to land knees in the clinch. He's going to turn him. I just feel like if he goes 0 for 13 on takedowns, even if he's moving forward, 1 for 16, I feel like it's going to lose in the fight.
I will say Castaneda isn't that type, though. He's really active in the clinch. He's really active when they get to those positions. So if it comes down to it, I could see Gutierrez just being like that Jose Aldo, like, oh, I'm tired, and Castaneda's just kneeing his thigh, So it's like I can see that situation.
Word. All right, well, we shall see how it plays out. It's like giving a case for maybe the dog, but yeah, it could be a close fight. I like Gutierrez to edge it out for sure. I think his style wins out. So that's my breakdown on Gutierrez. And Patrick Hill says he loves to play as well. All right, guys. Next up, what do we have? We got to let him out the cage. It's time for the dogs of the week. And plus, he gave the case for Cameron Simon. You're going to go decision? Or, you like knockout. Give a prop on it, too.
I do like the knockout, but you could go decision. It could go either way, but I like Simon. I like Simon to get it done. I think if there's going to be a knockout, it ain't going to be on Wellmaker's end. All
right, there you go. He's sticking with Simon. Slick, you have a guy that, remember, back in the day, we interviewed on IG Live. So going with a little OG love, it's the Brick. You're going with Jimmy Flick in this one.
Honestly, man, I'm just fading the Matt Schnell favorite train. Like, this guy does not deserve to be a favorite against anybody. The grasshopper in my lawn right now could knock out Matt Schnell. The fucking wind going 2 miles an hour could knock out Matt Schnell. The old lady on a wheelchair in the corner can knock out Matt Schnell. This guy could get knocked out by anybody or anything. Jimmy Flick could go in there and pluck him, and he could knock him out. Wow. Why is we making this guy a minus 300 favorite? This guy doesn't deserve. This guy retired his last fight. This guy retired. And then all of a sudden they gave him a short notice fight, and then now he's so unretired. Jimmy Flick, he's been retired too, but he's not the favorite. He's not minus 300. You're telling, like, Jimmy Flick is a submission specialist, and I can honestly say he could knock out Matt Schnell. I will not be surprised if he throws that winding overhand right. That's the only punch he could throw and knock out Matt Schnell. I am nowhere near going against Matt Schnell as a favorite. You must take Jimmy Flick, take him by submission, because that's the only way he wins. And Matt Schnell, he's a good grappler. He might give Flick what he wants. He might try to get this fight down to the ground too. So this guy is not nowhere near favorite potential, especially minus 300. I don't care if he goes in there and knocks out Flick in the first round or subs him. I don't care. This guy's been on fade alert for his past 6 fights. In what world is he a favorite? Jimmy Flick by sub.
I love the breakdown, man. It is Schnell minus 290. I was like, yeah, that's wild. So Jimmy the Brick has a shot. It's going to be a weird one. Schnell definitely has the boxing advantage if we want to be serious about it, but making him that size favorite is absurd. Plus, do you agree with that?
I agree that making him that size favorite is absurd. However, Jimmy Flick has also lost 3 out of his last 4, is a straight can, doesn't deserve to be here, is going to get his shit pushed in. I mean, this fight sucks. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
What in the fuck is actually going on that this needs to be a fight on the card? This should be like a free. They should throw like a rando fight on like a fucking Tuesday or a Wednesday and say, hey, there's gonna be 1 or 2 shitty fights, shit fight Wednesdays. We got Flick versus Schnell, and we can come up with something else that's horrible, just like that.
Nah, man. Put some respect on Jimmy the Brick Flick's name. His grappling game is crazy, bro. If you put Schnell on the mat, he's got a crazy submission game. His arm triangles are elite. Bro, I like it. I'm going Flicks up, too. This is crazy. All right, man. My dog of the week is Giga Ninja Chikadze. Plus 160 on Giga. I'll say David Onama is a nasty fighter, man. He's an up and coming, featherweight that I've been high on. He's got granite in his fist. He's a brawler, but he's a calculated brawler now. He's getting smarter. He's getting better. But I think Giga's a step too high for him. I think Onama's still super hittable. We saw against a short notice opponent who's also on this card, Roberto Romero. Romero dropped him in round 1. Romero came into that on less than a week notice, put some heavy forward pressure on him, caught him with an overhand shot. He's blasting him with inside low kicks too. Giga's a kicking master. So to see Onama's he got dropped in the 3rd round too by an outside low kick. It put him on the floor. So to see that from Roberto Romero, I'm thinking, oh man, Giga might chew up the legs, inside, outside, switch stances, go to the body, go to the head. He could start going to all targets and making Onama guess. And Onama's definitely going to be coming forward and try to make it nasty and just land some shots. But Giga just went distance with Arnold Allen. He won the 1st round. Arnold Allen overwhelmed him ultimately. And people are going to say he's 36. He's getting slower. Man, Arnold Allen's a fucking junkyard dog. Onama is too, but Allen is a top 5 caliber fighter as well with the skills and that, toughness. I don't put Onama there. So give me Giga Chikadze to give him the veteran's lesson here. I like him to, Onama's hittable. I like him to piece him up. And I like him to stay defensively sound enough to win this fight, probably by decision. I like Giga. Darce Podcast, that's Cal in the chat. He says, I think Giga outclasses him. I agree. Plus, what do you think about plus 160?
Love it. There's levels to this shit. This is mispriced. Give me Giga all day. I can even put him in a parlay. I know that David Onama's like not nobody. However, he did lose to Nate Landwehr, whatever that was, 2.5 years ago. Man, if you're going to lose to someone like that who's got some hands, you're going to definitely lose to a guy who's got real hands. Give me Giga Chikadze all day. When your only losses in the past fucking 4 years are Arnold Allen and Calvin Kattar in his prime 3 years ago, I totally, absolutely gotta take Giga to get back in the win column, who's actually in a new camp, got new coaching, got new people around him. Usually works for the better. The change is sometimes what you need in your soul. Sometimes you need that upgrade. I think he's getting it. I think we get to see him get his hand raised for sure.
I like that point too. Yeah, kind of refreshed energy, right? New looks, new thoughts. And he's been at King's MMA forever. So slick. I think maybe some people will say Onama could try to grapple him, but when he was training there, he's with Nabil Dariush and rolling with high-level partners there. So I trust Giga to be able to defend takedowns or win in the clinch too. What do you think about Giga in this matchup?
Is that Onama isn't a wrestler. Like everybody look at those situations, and every one of those situations that he was able to get out of a grappling situation was because the other person started it. Like Jonathan Pierce, Gabriel Santos, guys like that, they was trying to get the fight down to the ground. Giga isn't going to do that. He's going to try to inflict much damage on the feet. And this is just a fight that we are finally going to see Giga probably get his kicking game going. We have not seen that because he has fought guys like Calvin Kattar, who's going to close the distance, guys like Arnold Allen, who's going to close the distance. So now we're finally going to be able to see Giga probably get his kicking game going. And if he gets his kicking game going, this guy just switches from his kicks to his punches. some of the fastest that I have ever seen in this division. So if like I said, if he gets that kicking game going and Onama isn't grappling, which I don't suspect him to, I think he has to hurt a guy like Giga Chikadze. And we've seen this guy take punishment after punishment and still try to be in there. Like that fight with Calvin Kattar, for him to even be in there in that 5th round and still try to fight Calvin Kattar was just nuts. So this guy has beyond toughness. I think he's able to, and the one thing I like about him too is that he's gonna be able to dictate the pace. I think because Onama likes that pocket brawling. You know, he likes to just get in that pocket and brawl. We've seen it against Jonathan Pierce. We've seen it against Santos. Giga isn't gonna give you that opportunity. Like I said, I think he's gonna get his kicking game going, stick to that jab, and once he gets that jab going, I think the right cross is gonna be there for him. And the one thing I like about him too is just his ability to just punch right after he kicks. You know, he'll throw a switch kick and then he'll throw a jab or a right cross right after it. So I think this is a good spot, good bounce back spot for Giga. And his line is actually going down, man. You said plus 160. I see plus 134 right now as the lowest line. So hey, man, good CLV.
Let's go, Slick. And I got plus 170 when it opened, and then I saw it start going. I was like, what? I just think it's outrageous to put Onama like that. Like you said, Giga's got the toughness. He's Georgian, man. You think Onama's going to break him? If Arnold Allen couldn't break him, Calvin Kattar couldn't break him, man, Giga's got this one. Bless you, Mr. Plus. I see my guy going through the spring allergies, man. I know how it is, man. I used to suffer from that bad. All right, man. I love that you guys love Giga. That makes me super happy. I have 2 units on it, and my heart is singing. All right, those are our dogs of the week. Now, guys, it's time to all come together and lace them up for a Darce parlay. All right, Mr. Plus, you got the first leg of the Darce parlay. What are we going with?
I'll take Damon Blackshear. No, and listen, he's fighting Alatang Ali. Guy's kind of a dog for a Chinese dude. I like him. However, tit for tat, skill for skill. Got to ride this Damon Blackshear wave. Ever since he got knocked out by Montel Jackson, which Slick called, by the way, happened in 15 seconds. Ever since that happened, he's really been on the uproar. I love these last 2 wins. Submission over 2 guys named Cody. Yes, he could do it to an Asian guy whose name would probably be Cody if he was white. I'm totally taking Damon Blackshear by submission, probably by decision, though. Let's be real. Ali Tanghali is very, very durable. Been submitted 1 time in his entire career. And I gotta ride Damon, though. I know Danny loved what I said there. I'm gonna get off this thing now in a little bit here. The feeling the whiskey, 6.5-inch reach advantage. We're going Blackshear.
He said, yeah, he beat a guy named Cody, and he said if Alatang he said if the Chinese guy named Alatang Hai Li was white, he would be named Cody. What? That's amazing. All right, I can't continue, but I do love Blackshear. I do love Blackshear in this spot. Jiu-Jitsu is gonna win out. They're grappling. Blackshear is gonna win the grappling. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I roll with Blackshear in this spot. I think it's a good spot for him to get the sub. He's just one crafty guy on the mat. And I'm gonna go with Rude Boy Brown, Randy Brown for my Darce leg. I think this is a good spot for him against Dalby. Piece away Dalby for 3 rounds.
There you have it. Slick on to Randy Brown, keeping us.
Hello, I'm a Cody.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. We're gonna get tariffed for that. All right, I'm going with main event. Garry Prates over 2.5 rounds. I do think Gary's tough enough to last to go deep in this fight. I think maybe he'll clinch up, give him some fence work, make Prates work a little bit, but ultimately fighting there, it's going to be too good. He's going to outpoint him. He's going to be sharper. But Garry able to just make it go long enough to make this an interesting fight. That's how I see it. So main event leg at the end, we can hedge that if we hit our first 2 legs. Make sure we do that. And there you go, Darce parlay plus 160. Bada boom, bada bang. How's your father? All right, guys. we got to close the show out with the last fights we haven't talked about, and those are the honorable mentions. All right, let's go through this one lightning round. Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards. I do not care about this fight. I like Jocelyn Edwards to win by defending takedowns. Slick, what do you think?
Jocelyn Edwards by chasing Chelsea Chandler around the ring.
Yo, if Chandler does the sprint backwards run again, that will be all-time classic. This one.
Edwards, leg kicks all day, no problem. This is an easy W. I just don't like the line. -300's dangerous. You just never know in women's MMA. It's probably going distance. But at the end of the day, Jocelyn Edwards gonna have the more powerful kicks and punches, and definitely gonna have the bigger moments, and probably bring home the dub. So if you want to throw it in a parlay, I'm not mad at you, but -290 is kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah, don't bet on this fight. Just don't bet on this fight. Nah, Timmy Quamba, -102. Roberto Romero, -118. After Romero showed what he showed me in that Onama fight, I like him in this matchup, man. I think that aggression is going to win out. Like, his inside low kicks were blasting Onama. He hit him with the overhand shots, and he got hurt at the end of the first round. That's the only reason that Onama stole it back. But he kept coming forward. If I don't think Quamba can hurt Romero like Onama did, and he'll just, if he can't like get that respect, I think Romero's pressure will be overwhelming and score the biggest. So I like what I saw from him on short notice. I think he could beat a guy like Quamba. What do you think about this matchup, Plus?
I kind of disagree, man. I think this Timothy Quamba kid's got skills, and just because he's losing in the UFC doesn't mean he wasn't good before he got here. This is home of the best fighters on planet Earth. I don't think the Roberto Romero kid's that good. I know he took the Onama fight on short notice, but I think that was one of Onama's worst fights that we've ever seen him fight. He got rocked. He didn't look like himself, and I think we're going to see a better performance out of him, but he'll still lose to Giga Chikadze. But I do like tonight, or that night, Saturday night, Timmy Quamba to actually get in the win column. Bigger specimen, definitely going to be larger out of the two guys here, and I think he can at least control the octagon and take this where it needs to go and have the bigger moments and win by decision.
All right, decision. Fair enough. I do think, yeah, Romero's definitely got the durability to go the distance. So if you like Quamba decision makes a lot of sense. Slick, how do you see this fight?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we know about Quamba is that he is tough, but he does lack volume in certain spots. That's why a guy like Lucas Almeida was able to beat him to the punch a lot of the times. You know, Timothy Quamba just does try to get his striking going. And sometimes when it doesn't work for him, he just doesn't know what to do. I think he has good offensive wrestling that he doesn't use. And I think that's going to be his downfall in this spot. I think this could be a close-ass fight, but I'm going to lean Romero for volume. And you got to remember, he said in interviews leading up to that Onama fight, I'm putting everything and anything into that first round and trying to get Onama out of there. And he tried, man, and he was real close to getting Onama out of there. And then he just ended up gassing something particular that we see with short notice guys. So I think I'm going to lean Romero by volume-based decision, having a little bit more volume.
Bro, I watched that fight while I was eating dinner 2 hours ago. He didn't gas, bro. The kid is fucking relentless. There's no quit in him. He got hurt badly, and he kept fighting, man. He kept fighting the entire. And Onama was starting to talk shit. He was piecing him up. He was picking his shots to the body. He got top mount on him, and he was beating him up. And then Romero tried to hit him with a knee bar to sweep. He got his guard back. Like, he never gave up. So for the relentlessness, I like Romero a lot in that one. Actually, I'm going to make him a play, to be honest. Next up, Jacqueline Amaran -800 versus Polyana Vienna +550. That's absurd, man. That's an absurd tag. But Amaran's jiu-jitsu probably wins out. I don't know. Is there an underdog shot here on Vienna +550? Worth it?
Probably not. I mean, if you want to throw a quarter unit at it and just pray, you could totally do that. But Amaran's probably going to win this one by submission in the first or second round. She definitely has her beat when it comes to the ground game, and I think that's where this fight's going to end up, is the ground. I'm probably just laying off this based on the lines too crazy and can't really find anything here.
Yeah, it's too wild. Slick, are you going to play anything? Is it Polyana Vienna, the girl that beat up the mugger in Brazil who tried to attack her, and then she just rinsed this dude and held him till the cops came? So I respect her for that. Man, maybe that deserves a quarter unit, if anything.
You gotta remember, Polyana is the only girl that we know that actually went out with a guy like Kobe Covington. So, hey, at the end of the day, you don't know what this girl is capable of. So I'm a lean the under 2.5 in this spot. I've seen it at like minus 275, and Jacqueline by sub. If I'm able to get plus money at it on it, because I'm not laying no sub prop on a girl like Jacqueline, even though that's basically her win condition. But I think Vienna doesn't have no takedown defense. I think Amaran could just try to trip her or like probably headlock her and just take her to the ground. And then once it's on the ground, we know Amaran, jiu-jitsu black belt. Girl, she just sub. For me, she's sub or bust because she really doesn't have no striking.
Yeah.
So sub Jacqueline Amaran under 2.5. I seen like minus 250 for the under 2.5.
All right, wow, that's saying something for women's MMA fight. This one's probably not going the distance. All right, here's a good one. Ikram Ali Scarov, minus 550 versus Andre Muniz, plus 410. I mean, Ikram looking to bounce back after that Robert Whitaker round 1 knockout. They climbed too high. And I thought he was ready to give a good fight against Whitaker, but he got rinsed. Whitaker went into Saudi Arabia, too, right into the UAE, and just put a right hand on him that made him go sleep. So against Muniz, I mean, they gave him a pretty good bounce back matchup, right? Plus, Muniz is really good jiu-jitsu player, but Ikram's going to piece him up on the feet, right? How do you see this fight?
I mean, you think so, but the line is fucking crazy. There's nothing to bet on this unless you want to go dog, honestly. Just think about Muniz's losses. Brendan Allen, rear naked choke in the 3rd round, the final round. And then against Paul Craig, got the ground and pound. That was probably his worst loss of his career. Came back, beat Jung Young Park. Definitely a dog, one of our favorite fighters, right? Iron Turtle. I don't know, man. I'm not an Ikram fan, and after we saw him get exposed against Robert Whitaker, saw that he is chinny and isn't all he wants to be. I mean, this is an OV that wants to stand up and fight. Muniz isn't that guy either. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, right? So I don't know. I don't know where this one's going. It really depends who's the stronger guy out of the two in the octagon, who's going to control it. But I'll tell you right now, this line is fucking stupid.
Cal going to the random full screen of me. I always like that. Oh, what's it called? Ikram, I think you're right to say that maybe he doesn't deserve to be minus 550 and that Muniz could be live. But Slick, I mean, Muniz's striking is pretty basic. Like, I feel like if he can't get to the ground, he's in trouble.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's going to get to the ground. Muniz is more of a jiu-jitsu type of takedown type of guy. Doesn't really have well, he does have a traditional double leg. He just tries to like rugby tackle you and tries to get the fight down to the ground like that. But I'm not too high on him to get the fight down to the ground. Ikram has great takedown defense. You know, we can't really compare that Robert Whitaker striking fest that we've seen because Robert Whitaker is a striker. Muniz is a jiu-jitsu black belt pull guard type of guy. And I just don't see him getting the takedowns. And if he doesn't get the takedowns, I think Ikram KOs him probably in the 1st round.
Wow. Early work. Wow. If he pulls guard too, I could see him getting dropped by like a straight left hand and then pulling and then just being like, man, I'm just going to chill here and pull guard. What up, Plus Junior in the mix? Plus Junior is in the mix. And finally, guys, we have one last fight to talk about. It's the co-main event of the evening before we get up out of here. And I got to know, man, Anthony Lionheart Smith plus 390. Is this the end for him against Zhang Minyang? This is a dangerous guy, man, on an 8-fight round 1 KO streak. He's got granite in his fists. He's coming forward, heavy pressure, intimidating striker, does not care what's coming back. I mean, Anthony Smith has a guillotine or that's it, I think, or he's getting knocked out. Plus, could this be the last ride for Anthony Smith?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Smith, a long time ago, 5-6 years ago, who knows, could have maybe walked with this guy through fire. But Zhang will actually walk through fire to get what he needs to get, which is his hand raised. And it's unfortunate. I saw Anthony Smith at the UFC 314 in Miami, and he was at the desk and chilling with Ian Parker. I got to say hi to all those guys. Tall, big, really big dude, but man, he is about to get fucked up by this Zhang guy. I don't like this fight at all.
Yeah, I think it's a gatekeeper fight, Slick. I feel like it's helping Zhang build his resume and get a number next to his name in light heavyweight rankings. Do you think he's going to put Smith away?
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, I really think in this spot, Anthony Smith is guillotine or bust, and he probably won't get the guillotine because Zhang Minyang doesn't shoot takedowns. Like, the guy is a full-on force on the feet, doesn't even try to get the clinch going, doesn't try to do none of that. All he does is just swing punches till one man falls, even if he has to fall himself, you know. This is a guy that will die on his shield and sword. He don't matter. He's one of those guys, if you put him in like a chokehold or something, he's going to sleep. He will not tap. He's one of those types of guys, man. I'm not trusting. And Anthony Smith already said this is his retirement fight. So at the end of the day, we always favor retirement fighters. He already came out and said it. So I just hope Zhang Minyang just hits him with one good punch and just doesn't like flatline him. Yeah. And then we see him retire. I hope it's like a TKO type of punch, like when he fought Khalil Roundtree. Like, we seen him go 3 rounds all straight up, all stand up with Khalil Roundtree. So Anthony Smith hasn't been that type of guy to really get the wrestling going. He's more of getting guillotines because of other guys wrestling. So, man, like I said, I just hope Zhang TKOs him and doesn't flatline him for a retirement fight.
Yeah, no follow-up. No follow-up. I didn't hear that. So now that I know that this is his retirement fight, like Slick said, 1 foot out the door, that's an auto fade. Zhang Minyang, clean right hand, drop him, get dazed, just be like, ref, please stop, just stop it. I'm not.
Well, unless it's Jason Herzog. Herzog, you know, gonna have him probably die in there.
Bro, he was one of my favorites for so long, and as of late, man, he's just been missing the mark. Like, bro, save this man. Herzog, come on. All right, guys, we did the damn thing. The Darce Podcast, UFC Fight Night, Kansas City, Mr. Plus Money, Slick Montana, Cal on the 1s and 2s. Brasco Betts here, asking you to hit the subscribe button if you have not. Hit the like button on your way out if you like the takes we gave. And let us know what you're backing. If you're riding anything, the Darce Parlay, plus 160. Plus Bus, plus 375. Let's go. We give Dogs of the Week, Slick Report, Brasco Bakedown. Bakedown? I got to get up out of here, man. That's enough. Peace out, guys. Good luck if you're tailing, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Jasmine Jasovizzi is here. Don't forget to tap into the Darce Podcast.
The Darce choke is a submission executed from the front headlock position. It involves encircling the opponent's neck with the crook of one's arm, while the other arm wraps around the opponent's arm, applying pressure, leading to a tap or unconsciousness.
Tap into the Darce Podcast.